Okay, let's talk about a really powerful idea today. It's this crushing weight that so many of us feel. It's kind of become a signature of modern life, right? Well, we're going to give it a new name, a more accurate name.
Does this sound at all familiar? You know the feeling, that endless cycle of just activity. Emails, texts, notifications, scrolling. And at the end of it all, you just feel completely drained, like you've done nothing at all. It's a very, very specific kind of exhaustion.
And here it is. Here's the core idea. The label we use for that feeling, it matters a lot. See, calling it depression can feel like a personal failing, like there's some chemical imbalance you can't control. But what if we call it overload? That one little word changes everything. It reframes the problem. It's not something broken inside of you. It's a weight pressing on you from the outside.
So let's really break down what that overloaded feeling actually is. And this is so important to get. This isn't about a lack of willpower. This is a biological reaction. It's your nervous system responding to a frankly insane amount of stimulus. I mean, just think about your morning. Before your day has even really started, your brain has already processed more information, more social cues, more demands than people just a few generations ago might have dealt with in a whole week. It's like you're constantly switched on, but without any real sense of progress or completion.
And this right here, this is the validation I think we all need to hear. That feeling of burnout, that mental fog, that feeling that you just can't focus. It's a signal. It's your body's and your mind's natural defense system saying, hey, enough, I cannot process this much input. It's a sign that the system is actually working, not that it's broken.
So this brings us to a completely new way of looking at our mental state. It's a simple shift in language, but trust me, it can fundamentally change how you approach your own struggle.
Just look at the difference in the internal monologue here. The old story, it's this vicious cycle of self-blame, right? I'm failing, I'm weak, I'm broken. But the new framework, it externalizes the problem and it humanizes your response. I'm overloaded leads, pretty logically, to I need a break. And that's a compassionate solution, not a harsh judgment.
And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Juggling everything the modern world throws at us, that's not a sign of weakness. It's an incredible feat of endurance. Feeling tired isn't failure. It's the natural consequence of fighting on multiple fronts all at the same time. Okay, so what are these battles exactly? Let's take this big abstract idea of overload and break it down into 4 concrete daily burdens that are probably draining your energy right now.
First up, there's just the relentless pressure to perform. From school to our jobs, we're facing constant deadlines, exams, and this pressure to always be climbing, always be achieving. It creates this nonstop need to prove our worth through what we produce, and the fear of falling even a little bit behind, well, it can be absolutely all-consuming.
Number 2, the huge burden of social media and comparison. I mean, think about it. We're not just living our own lives anymore. We're also consuming the perfectly curated highlight reels of thousands of other people. This forces us into a state of constant measurement, comparing our messy, real lives against these impossible, polished standards of success and beauty and happiness. It's a comparison trap that literally never ends. Third, we've got the weight of family expectations. Now, these can be spoken out loud or they can be totally unspoken, but they often lead to that giant looming question. So, what are you going to do with your life? And that is such a heavy burden to carry, trying to live up to the hopes and dreams of other people while you're still just trying to figure out your own.
And finally, there's this one. It might be the quietest burden, but man, it can be the heaviest. The search for your own identity. In the middle of all this external noise from work, from social media, from family, you're also trying to answer these fundamental questions. Who am I? What do I really stand for? And is the way I feel, is it even normal? It's a deep internal battle.
So you're faced with all these burdens, and what's the common advice? Just stay positive, or you gotta grind harder. But here's the thing. This advice doesn't just fail. It often makes everything worse. Let's dig into why.
You know, this quote adds some much-needed ancient wisdom to the whole conversation. Real strength, whether you're talking about Stoicism or other philosophies, isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about developing the resilience to actually face reality and endure it, not just bury it under some flimsy layer of forced positivity.
And this is why toxic positivity is such a trap. It basically tells you that your valid, negative feelings are somehow wrong. That makes you feel guilty, it forces you to ignore the real problems, and ultimately it just fuels burnout by telling you to keep pushing through the pain instead of actually addressing what's causing it. Okay, so we've defined the problem, We've called out the bad advice, so what can we actually do about it? Here are 3 simple, concrete steps to find a little bit of relief and start managing the overload.
First, just name the emotion. Stop saying I'm fine. Say, I feel overwhelmed or I feel anxious. Acknowledging it is the first step to managing it. Second, cut one toxic input. Just one. This is not about a massive life overhaul, okay? It's about taking back one tiny piece of control. Unfollow that one account that always makes you feel bad. And third, create one tiny win. The whole goal here is to break that cycle of feeling unproductive. One small, achievable action builds momentum and reminds your brain what accomplishment actually feels like.
And let's just end on this powerful reminder. If you take just one thing away from all of this, please let it be this. The struggle is real because the demands are real. What you're feeling is a human response to an inhuman amount of pressure. So please, give yourself that grace.
So I'll leave you with this question. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. What is one small, achievable thing you can do to push back against the overload and create a moment of peace or accomplishment for yourself?